So we're talking about the original trilogy. Let's talk a little bit about the special edition, which right now is the only thing available on Blu-ray. And I think we probably all saw the re-releases in the theater. Goldsmith, what do you think?
I think everybody's problem with the added CG stuff that they put in the re-releases was they changed so much. Like, I didn't even realize until a couple of years ago that they changed they put the new Emperor in completely. Like, they took the old orangutan face with the weird eyes and stuff that was in the original movies. They took that out and replaced it with the new Emperor Palpatine that was in the new movies. And I didn't even realize that when I was, watching them years and years ago. But some of it I actually like when they have the. Let me restart. I completely. I like when they added in just a little random stuff when it's like a big landscape and you see like the outside of the city.
Yeah.
And then it's just they add in like for no reason added in
Stormtrooper
like
riding a bantha or something.
Yeah, or like just
or the
Jawa,
Jawa, one of those things.
Yeah, or just some creature that like eats another creature and it's just sitting there for no reason. I understand why they did it just because they could, but whatever.
What do you think of the re-release, the editions? Do you like that? Do you not like that? Are you holding out for the theatrical releases to come back out on Blu-ray?
I've never had a problem with the re-releases, which I don't remember the originals, but I mean, I'm not one to nitpick on tiny details of things, and I can understand George Lucas created this movie. He had this great vision, but he didn't have the resources or the means or the money to fully realize what he wanted to do. And then later on, he has this giant company that can basically perfect what he's already done. So I mean, why wouldn't he want to go in there and spruce it back up?
Yeah, it's his baby.
Yeah, but I mean, people complain about it, but I mean, it doesn't bother me at all.
Scott, did you see the re-releases in the theater, by the way, when they came out?
Oh, yeah,
late 90s?
Yeah. I don't hate it. I like a lot of the subtle stuff. I like a lot of the enhancements to space and the X-Wings and a lot of work in Bespin. When they would overlap what used to be just a hallway in Bespin, they would put an open window where you could see the sky. And I like the subtle stuff. I didn't like the stuff that actually changed the story. I don't like it that they took Boba Fett's voice out and put in Jango Fett's voice. I don't like that. I don't like the scene with Jabba. It makes no sense.
It's disorienting, actually.
I was going to ask about that. The scene in Jabba's palace when it first shows him and then he tells the girl to sing the song again. Is that in the original? Because I can tell there's a lot of CG
that whole
stuff.
song's been...
Yeah, that whole song's new. That doesn't... It blends in it blends in that scene a lot better than the scene in Episode 1 when they put Jabba in the hangar when they meet Han Solo and the crews are coming out.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Jabba's about 4 foot tall.
Yeah, well, also, Han Solo, they had to like raise him, so it looks like he walks up. It's like disorient, like they did a shitty job.
He walked behind him,
and then it's like fuzzy.
Yeah,
and he
they had to make
up.
it. They were like his tail's there, so they had to make him jump up on the tail.
He also calls Jabba a human being. He says, "You're a wonderful human being." And,
yeah.
It's just not. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. There's no point to force it. A lot of the stuff, though, I did really like. When Alderaan blows up, I mean, I've got some really good copies of the original stuff, and they still look great. But when you get a copy of that, look at how dirty Darth Vader's helmet is. Just how dirty and grimy Darth Vader's helmet is. And the very first scene you see him, his helmet looks like shit. It's like he just got out of a donkey's ass. But you look on the remastered editions, man, and that shit's got a spit shine on it. I mean, it's shiny.
Yeah, it's crazy some of the stuff that they changed.
But I've seen the originals recently. Alderaan looks like a big cake. I mean, some of the stuff looks pretty bad in hindsight, and like Brooks said, given the ability to go back and fix it, I don't fault him for that. I fault him for going back and changing shit.
Well, yeah. Not all of it was for the good.
Fix what's broken, but don't just go changing stuff like Han shooting first. Unnecessary.
And Robbie, what did you think of the re-release, the special editions?
Why, much which.
There's a sandwich shop down the road, isn't it? Much which?
Yeah. Pretty much what everybody else said. There's some stuff that sticks out. Greedo shooting first, Anakin being like Hayden Christensen being put in at the end of Jedi. There's stuff that sticks out. The scene with Jabba that you were talking about, John. But there's a lot of stuff that just enhances the movie. Yeah. You know, there's more ships.
Yeah.
You know, while they're... Dude, the scene in the trench fighting the Death Star, so much better in the special edition. The Hoth battle scene in the first one, so much better. The Sarlacc pit, kind of better in Return of the Jedi. Like, they enhance some things. But yeah, why do you have to add the Jawa on the weird little thing, or the Stormtrooper on the Bantha, or anything like that? Like, all the cutesy stuff. But it's weird. If you go on YouTube and you look at... You can find videos where they show you the original scenes and what they change. They change the most ridiculous, random shit. Like, for real. Like, at one point, Luke's aunt says, hey, uncle is waiting on you. And they change it to your uncle. Like, why did you feel the need to put a your in there? Like, we get it.
Well, it is correct, I guess. I mean, I
guess so. But still, like...
In America...
It's one thing to expand on the CG. Like Cloud City.
Oh, it looks amazing.
That stuff looks so much better in the special edition. I just wish we could have a version that had the extra stuff that was cool, but all
you should have an option on your DVD.
Yeah.
You know, which scenes to add in, which scenes to take out.
You know, not trying to beat a dead horse, but Star Trek, when they did the remaster, they have the options. You can toggle between. It's pretty dope.
Yeah, and you can easily do that.
Prettier.
Yeah, you can easily do that on Blu-ray. You can easily allow that to add in and take out. I think now that Disney owns the franchise, I think you're going to see a re-release that gives you both.
Yeah.
You know, because you've already, if you bought them on Blu-ray, the special editions, maybe you want to buy the regular editions too, and you're going to pay $40 for it. So it's an easy sell if they're available. If there's actually good prints. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's no good prints of the original.
Oh, there are.
To be transferred to Blue.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, and by the time you listen to this podcast, maybe Blue is dead, and you're watching it on, Red Ray or something like. When that DVD, I think was anyway.
All right, I want to get real quick. This is a big question, but let's get through this. Scott, I'm going to start with you. What's your favorite moment in Star Wars? Period. I would prefer within the movies, but if it's outside of the movies, go ahead.
Favorite moment. Empire Strikes Back, when you see the rebel forces scrambling and they're all going to battle stations, they're all starting jumping behind shit, looking to hide behind, they're all looking through binoculars, and then you see the first AT-AT walker. And then they pan out, and you see how big it is.
Yes.
He's looking through the binoculars. Yeah.
I was knocked out of my fucking chair.
It's like a parallel of the first scene in Star Wars where you see the Star Destroyer and it just keeps going.
I was hammered.
Yeah.
In awe. That's it for me.
Speaking of in awe, Brooks, you awe me, sir. What's your favorite moment in the whole saga?
Probably when Han Solo is escaping from Hoth, and he has the Imperials are on him the whole time, and like he's panicking, he's having to fix his ship, his hyperdrive's not working, of course.
Yeah.
Every time he tries to get the hyperdrive, it doesn't work, and him and C-3PO is like getting on his case, pissing him off. And then, he decides he's going to, attack. And C-3PO is like, so the odds of an attack are like, he's like, never tell me the odds. And, I think that's Han Solo right there. He's like, he doesn't care what the odds are. He's just throwing the dice, And it paid off. He tricked him. Except he didn't trick Boba Fett, but...
That's a great scene. Great scene. Justin, what do you think? Favorite moment in the entire saga?
It is probably after all the back and forth with Han and Leia and Luke. Han's about to be frozen carbonite.
Oh God.
They kiss.
The kiss.
He gets backed up on top of the thing where he's about to get lowered down into it and be frozen. She says, "I love you," and he just looks at her and says, "I know." And that's just, that shows that he's still kind of a prick.
That was unscripted.
She should have been like, how do you know?
He ad-libbed that.
Really?
Yeah, Harrison Ford ad-libbed that.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like, I love you too.
That's good because in the next film, Return of the Jedi, the same scene happens reversed.
Yeah.
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 This
And
cat is foul, man.
Yeah.
This cat smells like it's got an open ass.
Yeah, it does. My favorite scenes, like I got a couple. Yoga on Dagobah.
yoga.
You know,
They did yoga on Dagobah?
Yeah, yoga.
they did when they did yoga on Dagobah. No, Yoda on Dagobah. Like the moment where he's like, try, or it's do or do not. There is no try. And then at the moment where Luke's like, I just don't believe. He's like, that's why you fail. I don't believe that I can. That is why you fail. That's such a great moment. But number one, straight up, when Vader just kills all these motherfuckers, it really starts happening in Empire, I think.
Should do a montage of Vader
Yeah.
like killing his
admirals.
subordinates.
Yeah, all the admirals. Like my favorites when
Apology accepted.
he's
Admiral Nemo.
yes, he's got the guys on the view screen, and he's killing the one as he's promoting the next guy, and it's the look on the next guy's face. That's my favorite moment in Star Wars. Period. John, what's your favorite?
I thought we'd have more people being like, Luke, I'm your father. And then people are like, oh, that's the fucking...
Well, that's
that-
the easy one.
Yeah, that's the easy one. Mine would probably be, I'm trying to think. I think the end of Return of the Jedi, maybe that's why it's one of my favorite films,
Yeah.
is when Vader steps in and grabs the Emperor and
Yes.
throws him down that shaft, or where the fuck it is. Because, I mean, it just blew my mind that he did. He's like, that's my son. You know, the Emperor's going to kill him. And he just steps up. And seriously, it just... And what a good way to end the film, too.
The
Redemption.
thing
man.
about
Yeah.
Vader is like, you know, you can't see his face. So like while all this is happening to Luke, you can't see like if he's going through any turmoil.
He
but
could have
you
been
kinda can
crying
tell.
all the time.
Somehow you can tell just by how
He could have
this
been
actor
winking
is.
the whole time. We have
Like,
no
he's
way
sitting
to
there, it's
know.
like you can just kind of tell that he's conflicted about it, despite the fact that you can't see his face. You know.
I was so confused why it wasn't James Earl Jones.
When he took off the mask.
Really, I was. At
Yeah.
the time, I had seen Conan, and I knew that was the voice. And when it wasn't him, when it was a pasty white guy, I was like, oh, that's odd.
They trying to say that deep down inside, we all wants to be white.
Now, didn't David, is his name David Prowse? Who did didn't he do all the voice? Didn't he do all of it originally before they cut over it?
Oh yeah, I think
thought
so.
he
Like
thought he
yeah.
was gonna, but I wonder if it sounded like, if you've not seen.
Do you think that British white dude sounded like James Earl Jones? I don't think so.
I was gonna say, if you've not seen the shelved, not released Fantastic Four Roger Corman film, where Doom is talking and you can't hear him, he's like,
Yeah.
I wonder if that's how David sounded, and so they had to get a voiceover. So why not?
It's because the person who
Why
did
not?
Doom's voiceover in that movie was the person who did all of the teachers in the Peanuts cartoons.
That's fun. I thought you were gonna give us some real insight, Muzz.